And then I respond.
My camera. How about them Giants? How about them Giants? How about them Giants?
Woo! What is happening, people? Welcome to another episode on location in Long Beach Island, by the way. Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush, where what do? We talk about Giants football 52 weeks of the year. Whether you like it or not, we're the podcast you love to hate. We're back. I'm back. I took some time off, plenty of things to do. The boys held down the fort for me last week when I was in Colorado, doing a little whitewater rafting and zip lining with Little Rush, who's not very little anymore, by the way. And we're back because we're creeping up on camp, as as Nails likes to talk about, roster and what's happening. Like, camp is coming up. It's creeping up on you folks. If you don't realize, today's the 30th of June. We're cranking into July. And then next thing you know, we're in preseason. Next thing you know, we're watching the New York Giants rock and roll in 2025. A lot of high expectations, right? So thanks for hanging out with us. I even want to so I have this music built into the platform and you can upload your stuff. And years ago when I went away, I always did a July 4th show, right? I probably don't have it loaded up in here anymore. No, it's not in here. I always used to play that Justin Timberlake Madonna song when I was on the vacay. So we got Joker. It's me and him. We're rocking it. Rest of the crew is off doing whatever. But I'm here. You're here. Let's talk Giants football. I see you guys loading in the room. Let's see who's popping in here. I see Brad. I see Mark. Good to see Mark. Mark has just been crushing it lately. With all the great work he does at home in the islands. He's got photos of him and Okereke and a bunch of dudes. So Mark has been crushing it with a lot of work for tourism that he's been doing. So if you guys don't follow Mark, check him out. He's got a great story. Very intelligent gentleman who's in the architecture world, but also does a lot of great stuff for his hometown. And he's, highly connected with the Giants because they do a lot of stuff for tourism over there. I think it was Okereke based, but either way, check out Mark. What's up, Brad? Glad to see you. Brad, I need your son to do a Jalen Carter, Dexter Lawrence story for me because I got in a huge debate this weekend at lacrosse on who is better. I'm surrounded by 40, 50 Eagles fans telling me that Jalen Carter is better, and we just know that that's just not the case. But what I do need to do is tell you two things that I'm sure at this point in time you guys already know, but it's always worth bringing it back up because see, I even got my own theme music now. It's always, and it always is.
It's good to be the king.
Yes, sir. And of course, my right-hand man, partner in crime. You guys are growing to love him. A couple of you guys hate him, but that's why he likes it. And of course, let's bring in my guy. Let's bring in Shawn.
Don't miss the fireworks. Don't miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
What is up, Joker?
What's up? I mean, I think that's appropriate now with where we are, the week we are, that fireworks. We're coming up on the 4th of July.
Yeah,
so
man.
Never more appropriate talking about fireworks. Will we have fireworks tonight, Craig? Will we have fireworks? It's just you and
I'm
I.
sure you will say.
What do you think?
Yes, I'm sure you will say something that pisses me off, and then I will have to debate you.
And vice versa.
Yeah, but that's why I love you, dude. You know that.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, see you guys piling in the room. Thanks, great to see you guys. Was off last week. You were rocking with Chris and Spartan and those guys. Great show. What's up? What's up, Daniel? What's up, Ryan? Good to see you guys. Hanging out with us. I am live from LBI in Jersey. Took the family to the beach, so we're chilling. And we're kind of doing our thing. Oh, here you go. Mark popped this in here, and I want to put it up here because, again, me and Mark been chatting a little bit offline. Want to share this. Okereke visited Barbados last year. Didn't meet him. However, just last week, Tibbs and Burns visited, and I got a chance to have dinner with them. Great ambassadors for the Giants. Like I said, please, if you get a chance, follow Mark. Good dude. Beyond good dude. He's a family man, highly intelligent individual, big Giants fan, does a lot of really great work for Barbados and tourism. And I've actually, sent him a note like, maybe we can create some kind of partnership, give something away to Barbados. Like, I know a lot of our, there's a couple hundred of you guys watch the show live, but show does real well in audio on Spotify and Apple Pods. That's where we get a lot of the listeners from. And then half of you guys are still watching it on YouTube, and we get, a couple hundred of you guys, each week watching live. So we thank you. If you can, tell a friend to tell a friend. I think that's what Carl Banks and Bob Pop always say. We're the same way. I would love to, continue to grow the show. And we always need your help to let people know that we do a good job. We appreciate you guys. So, thanks for the support. And again, look, I even brought my microphone on vacation.
That's dedication right there.
Dedication.
Hey, by the way, can we plan a rush trip to Barbados and do a live show from Barbados?
We can do that.
Can we do that?
We can do that because, like, Mark is always like, "Come on out," right?
Yeah.
Mrs. Thompson may not appreciate us like rolling in and stealing her husband for a couple days. I'm not sure, and I've never met Mrs. Thompson. I'm sure she's lovely, but I don't know if she's gonna like a bunch of hooligans rolling in. Taking her husband and getting him in trouble for a couple of days. But we can work on something. We can definitely work on something.
I think that's something to work on. I think it'll be a fun time.
For the record, Mark has offered numerous times, and as older I get. And by the way, the sun is killing my beard, dude. It's like white.
I see the color you got.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. The sun's been out. It's been great.
Yeah.
I've also been standing in the sun for lacrosse. I've been in a hotel 5 of the last 7 days.
Oh.
But
by the way, real quick, I just want to mention I got a new Joker hat from a very cool gift from a very cool person, so I'm appreciative, and I'm debuting it tonight. So
yeah, I like it, dude. I might even be my favorite one if you want to be honest. I do like it. It's a little abstract. I like it. And it matches your forearm tat. So.
It does. It matches the tat. Yes, sir.
Yep. Well, let's do this, Shawn.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Listen, you're getting some love from Diane. Diana loved the new hat. So I don't recognize Diana. Or is it Diane? Diane, sorry. Diane. I'm glad you're here, Diane. And look at that. Look, Tim.
New subscriber, I think.
Tim's here, right?
And
he wants to know, I'm going to pop it up on the screen. Is this online Big Giants Rush the new show? Well, we're going to have to negotiate that. We're just going to have to sit down and, come up with some plans because we really do like Tim. And Tim, I would say, puts up with us. We like Tim. Tim puts up with us, right? So if you don't know Tim, check out Tim online, Big Blue Entertainment. Guy cranks out a ton of YouTube content. It's always very entertaining, and he actually knows football, which makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, he does. Don't tell him that, though. His head will get even bigger than it already is.
That's okay. I like a guy with a big head and lots of hair. I'm cool with that. It's like I said, if I look in the mirror, I see Tim, right? So we're good.
There you go.
And I always appreciate a guy who knows ball. So Tim has become a fast friend. Guys, we have had multiple requests, Shawn, multiple requests today because I was just like, hey, what do you guys really want to talk about, right? And the number one topic came up 3, 4, 5 times today. Let's talk defensive line.
Yeah. By the way,
So,
let me just thank Brad real quick. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate that.
oh yeah, Brad. By the way, is a longtime family friend.
Yep.
Love all the Kesslers, all the way up to Pops, and you know, so he's always very complimentary in what
Yeah.
we do. So shout out and pound it out. I don't got great lighting today, so I apologize that I might have to sit back a little bit to get some light in here. I put the windows behind because I thought it would get more light.
It's actually not bad. It's a little brighter than usual, so you get to see more of you. So that's not bad. It's actually, I think it's better lighting than what you normally have, my man.
All right, fine.
See, there you go.
I feel much better about myself right now. Tim said it didn't help.
Yeah. See, I'm
right.
complimentary tonight. I'm positive tonight so far. So I'm getting it out now because I know something's going to get to me tonight. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. So
let's do this. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's have a serious moment here, right? No
Okay,
pun
let's do
intended, Joker. Right? Yeah. So in my estimation, I have something in mind, but I need to ask you because we're here every Monday at 7:30 with Giants Rush. I've been doing this for 10 years, and every couple of years, the Giants seem to I don't know what you want to call it, retool their defensive line because they get rid of the Barry Cofields and they get rid of the Linval Josephs and they get rid of the Jonathan Hankins and they get rid of every D tackle that comes in the door.
Yep.
Now they've got the best, in my estimation, the best defensive tackle, or the second best, if you want to talk about, I don't know, Chris Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jones is considered a nose tackle or not anymore. But we have Dexter Lawrence, but he can't do it, Shawn, all by himself.
No, he
He
can't.
just can't.
No.
He's been in the league now for, I think this might be coming up on his 7th or 8th year.
I think this is 7, maybe 7.
And we've never really given him a running mate because we traded away his best friend, which was
Leonard Williams.
Leonard Williams, which I would honestly, I don't care who says what, I would take Leonard Williams back in a heartbeat. Just
correct.
Really, I think he was underutilized. I think he was underappreciated, and you know, I mean, listen, you don't see defensive tackles with 80 tackles a year, which he had.
Yep.
That first year, second year under Shermer. I think he had 80 tackles, 80-something tackles. You don't see that. What are they going to do this year, Shawn? What is it going to be? Because people are complaining about thank you, Mark. It is year 7 coming up. I knew it was 7 or 8, so thank you, my friend. Dexter can't do it by himself, Shawn.
Nope.
And Nacho, sometimes he shows, sometimes he doesn't. He might not make the team this year. I don't know. What do you see happening? What's the best opportunity for the Giants to stop the run here? And what's not? And we can talk linebackers in a minute, but just linebackers can't do their job unless the D tackles and the D line does their job.
Yeah.
And we haven't really had a great D line since Leonard Williams left. So what are we doing here?
So here's what I think, and I don't know if you saw, but the video was circulating that Dexter Lawrence was working out with a specific new giant, and I think here's what I think: if it's not Darius Alexander right away, it'll eventually be Darius Alexander after a couple weeks. But I do think the depth we've added, and I mentioned these names a few times already now, but Ledbetter and then Roy Robertson Harris. By the way, how many 3-name guys can we have on one defensive line? Because we got at least 2, maybe 3. How many we got now? But I think the depth is going to be big. I think Ledbetter is going to be better than people realize. He's 300-pound, 295, 300 pounds. You get him with Andre Patterson coaching him up a little bit more. Where Robertson Harris is a good vet, so our depth has gotten better. So somebody who was a starter last year in that D line is going to now be a backup, and that makes things better. But I think Darius Alexander, who's now been working out with Dexter Lawrence and that the coach that Dexter Lawrence works out with, that's the guy to keep an eye out for. That guy was I watched him all Senior Bowl week, the entire practice, and then during the games. Guy was a monster. He was the one that everybody was talking about on the defensive side of the ball, aside from Mike Green. But he I think he's the guy that's going to get it. If it's not right away, it'll be by week 3 or 4 would be my guesstimation. So, but don't be surprised if Ledbetter, again, he's a solid dude that's going to plug up holes. He's a big body that will free up Okereke. I know we're going to talk linebackers, but, Roy Robertson Harrison's 290. So he's another big dude, right? So that's what you have. And if Nacho is coming off the bench, now our depth is better, right? Because Nacho's gone from a starter to a bench player, and our bench player who was last year is going to go down, right? So that's what I think. And the other thing, and I'll keep saying this, and I'm going to keep repeating this, because I know we love to talk defense here, but our offense was the 32nd ranked offense in the league last year, 31st, whatever it was, right? If you can keep the defense off the field, that is going to help our run game. Guys are not going to be tired. If the Giants have a lead, right? If there's things that are going, the rotation, those are all things that are going to help that defense. So if this offense can produce, if they can move the ball down the field, they can keep the defense off the field, that's going to help the run game. So that's my prediction there.
No, I'm 1,000% behind that. I've been saying, the identity of the New York Giants in 2025 will be defense, and that defense will do everything possible to get off the field on third down, which we have not been able to do. So, those cats are worn down, taking 80 snaps a game, right? It's just too many snaps.
Yep.
The other individual that you left off, not on purpose, but he's new, so we don't know what to make of him yet, but is Golston.
Yeah.
Right? So Golston's a guy that could really be for you old timers, Chris Canty came over from the Cowboys, just like Golston, and he had a nice run with the Giants for 2. I know Mark Thompson is just so fast and stuff. Canty was here 2-3 years and was a real nice player. So all you need is a nice, consistent player, right?
Yeah.
When you're next to Dex. So Golston could also be a wild card. We're not really talking about him. Still a fairly young guy. Alexander, for you guys who are just, it's cool to be a casual fan, but if you're a junkie at all, look up Darius Alexander Senior Bowls workouts. They're insane. This dude, the motor on this guy was incredible. He was just ruining offensive tackles, like pancaking them, ripping inside on them, bull rushing them on their heels. I mean, he was so noticeable that I would I'd recommend if you're if you want to check either our validity or if you want to just check out who this cat is for your own purposes, just go to YouTube and look up Darius Alexander. We were rooting for him from day one because of just how much power he has and really quick hands for a big dude.
Yeah.
So, like Shawn just alluded to, we could have a line that looks like Golston, Dex, Alexander as your 3, and then your 4 rotates between Ledbetter and what do you call it? My God, who's the 4th guy? You just mentioned him. I just lost
Robertson Harris
and Robertson Harris. So those guys could be and even Nacho, right? Is spelling relief for some of these cats. But Golston, Dex, and Alexander, I would think, as Shawn alluded to, could be your main starters by midseason. And I don't see why they wouldn't go that route, but we're going to find out.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Golston because, is he going to play more of the edge? Is he the Aziz replacement, right? Could they move him inside? We had McFadden on. He talked highly that the Giants guys noticed him at Dallas. They knew what he was doing at Dallas. So that's a guy I was excited about that's been flying under the radar, except we've been mentioning him a lot on Rush here, right? So it'll be interesting to see if they move him down inside or I think they're going to move guys all over the place this season. I really do. I think you might see a different version of a NASCAR, if you will. I think they're just going to create mismatches across that defensive line because they have enough guys that can play anywhere. That's what they're going to look for. They're going to create mismatches. That's my belief.
And that's a great segue to what other things the Giants defense could do to be a top. I'm being conservative here. To be a top 15 defense, they have some flexibility, right? They're going to have some momentum, right? So
Yeah.
let's segue into linebackers because again, this defensive line is going to be key with, I think, Alexander, Golston, and Dexter, and then you've got that rotation of Ledbetter, Morrison, and Nacho. So I think
Yep.
it's going to be improved. It will be faster. It will be stronger,
Yep.
and more talented. The linebackers are unique because, you bring in Okereke. He had, he started a little slow, had a great year. Then, this year he had a really slow year, got hurt. And then you notice McFadden had a great year, but even when he slides over into Okereke's spot, he has even a better year playing that spot. And then, you got, I don't want to mangle his name. What's his
I
name?
got two guys I was going to talk about, right? Like, so two guys that when you talk about the linebackers, you got Darius Muasau, right? And Deontay
Yeah.
Johnson.
And by the way, Muasau from UCLA, he's an interesting cat because he's a 6th or 7th round draft pick. There's not a lot of expectation for him. Like McFadden, he's a little on the lighter side. He can get washed out in plays, but he's got great speed and
smart, intelligent player too.
He definitely. What's that?
He's a smart, intelligent player too. That's what they raved about. And who was his UCLA teammate who got drafted this year? I forget what team. He said I had a lot of great things to say about Muasau too. But he's instinctual. He understands the game. He can read and react well. And you're right. His speed is. I mean, we saw it in training camp videos last year. He was keeping up with running backs out of the backfield. When's the last time we saw that?
And Muasau is unique, like I said, because now we've got some interchangeable parts, right? In case anybody gets dinged up. Or, there's some packages where he's rushing in the A gap or maybe off the edges. Even McFadden, believe it or not, you and I have both said it. McFadden's a pretty good rusher off the edge when they bring him up, when they bring him around the outside, because they're a little bit on the squattier side. They got really good first steps, right? And as a linebacker, you can scrape in traffic. A lot of times if you bring a safety off the edge, they can get bottlenecked up because they're not used to scraping through traffic like linebackers are, So guy like Muasau and McFadden coming off the edge is always a possibility because you can move Carter to the inside. But either way, Muasau and McFadden and Okereke can be interchangeable because now that Muasau can play McFadden's spot. McFadden can play Okereke's spot. Okereke can drop into coverage better than any of them. So, and we need Bobby to be healthy. He had that herniated disc, so we're hoping he's healthy because he's still going to come back as a captain. And the Giants are still going to need, Okereke to have a bounce back season for this team to succeed.
Yeah, and again, the other name that I mentioned, early on was Deontay Johnson. He was having a good year until that injury. He was making a name for himself. So I think our linebacker unit is better than people realize. But Okereke is going to be the guy. He's going to be he's the key to drives. And again, he started slow. He tends to start slow in a new defense, right? So now he's going to understand it better. And I think he'll come out strong this year again, as long as he's healthy. As long as he's healthy, and you have enough guys that, like you said, they can rotate in. Carter can play in the end. You're gonna have guys all over the place, and I just think
for you folks that said, "Oh, sorry, John, go ahead, keep going."
No, I'd say, and that's the thing that people don't realize. Like I said, Deontay Johnson is the name to keep an eye out. Again, he was having a good year. He had that injury. He's fast. He can rush off the edge. He plays good, and on the inside as well. So that's the name to keep an eye out to see. Him and Muasau, I think, are two names that will get a little more run. And again, their depth. So our depth is better. So if McFadden has to come off, if Bobby O has to come off for a breather, you're still in good hands. So I think that's a good thing there.
And for you folks, and there's a couple of you out there that are bagging on Okereke that he's old and he's done. It's just not accurate. It's just not accurate. Like he's still he's been a relatively healthy linebacker through his career. He's not a thumper. For all you guys looking for thumpers, he's not a thumper.
Yep.
But is a highly intelligent linebacker that's in the right spot all the time.
Yep.
Does a lot of film work, and he can drop into coverage. Thank you, Cole. He's 20. I mean, at least I think, Cole, you're talking about Okereke.
Yeah, he's only 28.
Yeah, right. So couple of you folks just, bagging on Okereke. Like, dudes get hurt, man. And he didn't play well because, I mean, look, I don't know if any of you guys have ever had sciatica. I don't know if you guys have ever had bulging discs. I don't know if any of you folks out there have had a microdiscectomy. Like, I've had them all. I mean, I had the L5S1 sucked out of my back because it's well fragmented from running into dudes twice my size. I can only imagine what these guys' spines look like. And Okereke had a bulging disc. So what you saw wasn't the typical flying around healthy Okereke making plays. There's some bad clips of him out there. I get it. And that one play where the guy's running, I don't know if it was Washington or not, the running back's running, and he just kind of like ran around him like in a circle because he couldn't get a good angle on him. But the guy's been hurt. The guy's hurt. When you get a bulging disc, it presses on the nerve, you get nerve pain. For anybody out there that's ever had nerve pain, they will tell you there's nothing like nerve pain. So Okereke is going to come back healthy. McFadden's healthy. Muasau's healthy. And then the wild card is, what do you do with Carter? Inside, outside. Like, they've got options now. I'm just saying flat out, don't expect the offense to be a top 10 offense. What you're expecting is them to be better, right? Because the quarterback is just better. Is he washed up? No. Is he going to throw for 4,035? No. But if he throws for 3,025, that's better than we've had in 6 years.
Yeah. And you got Tracy and Scatterbo out of the backfield and Singletary. So you're going to run a little bit more. We'll see what happens. He can get the guys the ball. That's the big thing. But if they're top 20, top 25, that's a huge improvement, and that can make a difference. And if your defense is top 10, then you can win a lot of games that way.
Yeah, proven winner, right? He's a proven winner. He knows how to win. I don't know if he could be a little clunky. Can he be a little weird? Whatever. Like, yeah, I guess so. Right? I mean, I don't know.
Hey, I want to address something quick because I know we're talking linebackers, but I know Banks had a tough year, but it keeps going out there that, and I've seen a lot of people say it, that our secondary isn't good. We were top 10 in pass defense last season, top 10. And at one point we were number 7. We finished number 9. So it was like 210 or 210, I think, a game, something like that, which is really good. So, and we just added a Debo and Holland in our secondary, which is going to improve it. So again, the run defense, I understand that should be really the big concern is the run defense. But now with that offense being proven,
let's and I'm just looking in here, right? So Okereke played through pain, never missed a play in 2023, 100%. Okereke is still the guy, and as far as I'm concerned, him and McFadden are still the guys in the inside for at least first and second down. As I said it, and I'll say it again, I'm about the history. What is it? What happened? Like what happened? And we know Okereke is an outstanding linebacker, and got snubbed for the Pro Bowl in 2023. He had a great season. McFadden is the first linebacker in 18 years to have back-to-back 100-yard tackle years, and he's getting better. And then you got this guy Muasau, who you drafted from UCLA, very underrated guy. Who, if McFadden doesn't play well, or if Okereke's hurt, he's a real easy turnkey guy, plug and play, right? So linebackers, I think they're going to be fine because the defensive line is going to be dramatically better. They'll be clean. They'll be able to scrape and make plays. Now, Michael, Carter Coughlin's cousin, says the secondary isn't good, and which Shawn just alluded to. So, Shawn, let me throw some questions at you here.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
By the way, real quick though, too, Craig, don't be surprised if you see Okereke and Carter lined up next to each other a lot. Don't be surprised.
I wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't see that a lot because I think like not having him in an edge capacity to stop the run on the inside when I know Okereke and McFadden can already stop the run from the inside with a good defensive line, I think would be, just as my opinion, is if Okereke and McFadden have a good defensive line, they'll do fine, right?
Yeah.
Just to put him there to prove you can stop the run, he's served better on the outside, holding down the edge, turning it back inside, rushing the quarterback. and making plays outside. If you need him inside, maybe even to blitz through the A gap or the B gap. I know what you're saying.
He just moves at a different speed. You're going to put him all over. They're going to use him like Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons plays on the inside. He plays on the edge. He'll play all over. He just moves at a different speed than the other guys.
I actually think he's better than Micah. I think he's going to wind up being better than Micah Parsons.
I don't disagree with that.
I know people because they're saying like, how do you know? I mean, he's just an East Coast guy playing at Penn State in the cold weather. It fits really well, and I'm with you. I'm not saying he won't play inside.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that he, side by side, he does more damage outside than he does in.
Yeah, he could. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see what they're have him all over the place.
So let's address Carter Coughlin's cousin's question.
By the way, I think he said because it's the Irish pronunciation, it's Coughlin.
Is it Coughlin?
It's Coughlin.
So it's spelled Coughlin,
but it's pronounced Coughlin.
Coughlin. Yep. All right, if I'm saying that wrong, Michael, I apologize. All right, so he said
we appreciate the engagement from him too.
Yeah, 100%. Giants gave up 1,100 yards, reception, one of the worst in the league. Yeah, I got it. We're going to address that right this second.
Yeah.
All right.
But again.
Well, hang on.
Okay.
Let me I'm going to fire him at you. You're going to answer.
Yep. Okay.
Last year, who was our CB2? Easy question.
It was Adoree Jackson.
Yeah. How good did Adoree Jackson play?
Actually, I think you might disagree, but I think he played better than people realize. He played better than Banks, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we're just talking about Adoree Jackson. Yeah. Was Adoree Jackson a top 10, top 15 corner?
He was not.
When Adoree Jackson comes out, who is his replacement?
It was Slot at that time. I think, right? Or was it one of those other guys?
No, you got it, because McLeod was already gone. So now we're talking about our starting CB2 was Adoree Jackson, who was on his second term with the Giants, gone back. And his backup is Cordell Flott. Is that what you're telling me? Do I understand you correctly?
That's what I'm telling you. But our issue was our CB1.
Oh, I know. I'm getting there. Hold your horses.
Yeah.
Hold your horses. I'm just firing questions at you right now.
All right. Yes, sir.
Next question is Adoree Jackson or Cordell Flott? How many teams in the NFL would they start for? Be honest.
Adoree now, not too many. I don't think a few.
I'm talking starting CB2, dude. Think about it.
Yeah, I am. Adoree Jackson, a handful. I don't know how many, but a handful. He'd start on a handful. Flott would start on a handful.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to define handful. How many? We talking 7, 5, 2, 3?
Somewhere in that 5 to 7 range.
Okay, so our CB2 and our CB3 could only start on 5 other teams in the NFL.
Give or take.
Okay, so the very first thing is, regardless of who is the CB1 and the CB2, on a bad day, and he didn't have a great year, but is Adebo, yeah. Adebo, thank you.
Yeah. Is
Adebo or Banks better than Flott and Adoree Jackson? Just yes or
no? You keep throwing Banks in there, dude. Listen. I would argue that Flott and Jackson were better than Banks last year. Okay, but having Adebo is definitely better. If Banks can improve from last year, because again, there's talk in camp now that Flott has been getting more run than Banks has at CB2. So Banks is the wild card, but Adebo, when you have a better CB1, that is going to make the rest better. So now our CB1 is now our CB2. And that's a big that's an improvement as long as he plays as capable as he does. So I think the battle is going to come down to Flott and Banks for CB2. I think that's going to be the camp battle.
Adebo is huge. Yeah, Adebo is
Huge,
a huge
huge.
and Coughlin, because now I got it. Thank you for
Yep.
correcting me. Coughlin, Adebo, okay,
Yeah.
can play what Banks cannot,
Yes.
right? He can play zone coverage.
Yep.
Okay. Adebo played man in college, played zone in the pros. He is now a zone DB. He automatically steps in and can play the defense that the Giants run. That's a
Yeah.
huge lift when a
Yep.
guy is acclimated to what the defense are going to have. All right. Adebo is going to be a much improved corner. You can hope that Banks is an improved corner. Okay.
Yep.
He was a first round pick. We
Yep.
cannot throw him away. I
No.
can give you a list of first round picks we can throw away. All
Yep.
right. You're not throwing him away.
You're
He's
not.
going to be better. He has no choice to be better. He had a nice rookie year,
You hope.
and you wanted improvement from it. They didn't get it.
Yep.
Adebo and Banks should be improved over a Dory Jackson and a bad Banks. Yes or
That's
no?
the hope. Well, yeah, because Adebo is a huge upgrade over both of those guys. So Adebo is going to make up for that. But again, Adoree Jackson played better. Me personally, I felt Adoree Jackson played better than Deontay Banks did last year.
Only reason I wouldn't agree with that is he was never on the field. He was never on the field. The cat was hurt all the time, and he wasn't there. Like
Was he hurt a lot last year? I thought there was a year
yeah.
before.
Yeah, both years. He's hurt all the
Okay.
time. He's not reliable, and he doesn't really make a lot of big plays. You know?
See, he's one of those guys that covers guys, and he doesn't get his name mentioned because they're not throwing his way a lot.
I guess so. I don't see it. He's
You know what I
old.
mean?
He's slow. He doesn't tackle. So
He
I
gets so
mean,
I don't know why he gets so much. He's not. He actually played well. He really played well. I don't know why he gets so much hate. I know the year before it's a carryover. The year before he gave up. I think he was tired of Wink, to be honest with you. And I think he
yeah.
just quit. I think he quit. But last year he did play better. And you hope Banks is now motivated. Again, I know he's a first round pick, but he's not guaranteed that CB2. They're not going to just give it to him. I know he's a
I'm
first
not
round pick,
saying,
but I don't see they're just going to give it to him. He's got to earn it.
yeah, he's definitely going to earn it, but without sounding like they're giving it to him, there's just no way that first round pick, knowing how the way today's world works, that he's going to be that Cordell Flott is going to play over Banks. I know what you're saying. He does have to earn it.
That's what you want
remember,
though, right? That's what you want. We
competition.
talk yeah, you want competition. You don't want just spots given to people. I don't think they may in their mind be like, "Hey, he's going to be our CB2," but they're not going to let him know that.
No, I get
He's
it.
not going to, you know what I'm saying?
Well, holistically, this is what happens. You have a better
Yeah.
pass rush. Okay. You have a better pass rush. So people don't, so Adebo and Flott and Phillips and Banks don't have to cover as long. You got a better pass rush. Okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, you got a better defensive line. McFadden, Okereke, and if Carter's there or
Yeah.
whoever's there, are going to have a better opportunity to stop the run, to scrape, and make plays. So your corners aren't going to be out on an island. Okay. Adebo is going to be better. You're going to get Newbin back. Okay.
Yeah.
Having Newbin healthy will make a big difference. And you guys are very underestimating how good Holland is if you don't follow him or know who he is.
Yeah.
Guy's a very good player. Will prove to you that, like, Pinnock just didn't fit the system. His legs got slow or got old on him, right? He was having trouble, with his angles. The defense is going to be improved all the way from the front to the back. So, yes, out of all of it, the safeties, the linebackers, and the D-line pass rush are better than the corners, but they'll have to do a whole lot less.
Yeah. And I think, again, when you looked at before the injuries, right? Everything kind of changed after the injuries, however many yards they gave up per reception, whatever it was. But at the end of the day, if you finish in the top 10, giving up so many yards a game, it's still good against the pass. I'm sorry. It's still good against the pass. You just had guys, but you're right. Holland, not only just what he can play, but he understands the game. He'll get guys lined up. That communication, again, which if I hadn't said on our show here when he was on, the communication is going to be key. You got that back end guy who's going to tell where they need to be. So Holland's going to make Newman better. Adebo's going to make the other guys better. And don't forget about Phillips. Don't forget about Phillips in that slot, right?
Phillips is one of the best slot corners in ball.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's going to help that run defense too, which is what that slot is going to, that's what he's kind of there for in a way. So I think
David agrees with both of us about Banks most likely plays CB2, and if he sucks Flott, will get his chance.
Yeah.
Listen, there's no one on God's green earth that's going to convince me that Flott is a CB2. Like he's not physical enough. There's no physicality there. He's lightweight, and he's in a nice corner, and he's a nice slot corner. On the outside, he struggles. The biggest issue with our defensive backs, and we're hoping that somehow this changes, is that they don't ever look back for the ball. We have no turnover ratio because no one intercepts the damn ball, because no one looks for the ball. There's no ball awareness. So you're hoping, like with Newman back and guys like Holland and Adebo, that, they get some fire under these guys to want to be ball hawks.
Well, you got two new DB coaches that should change the way that's being taught to look back for it. It was a technique not to look back for the ball. That was the technique. It was told to swipe it out. Don't look back for it. That was the technique. So you got two new DB coaches. I hope they're teaching different. Listen, I know you hate on Flott because he's light or whatever, but he's year 4 now. And year 4 is that guy because he's a 4th round pick, right? 3rd or 4th round, that he'll be able to make that jump. That's when those guys develop. So I think the coaching staff is much higher in Flott. And I said last year, Flott was going to and he played well last year. So don't be surprised on him. He was there with Stingley Jr.? He was the opposite corner of Stingley Jr., I think, right? Or who was the other cornerback at the time he was at LSU?
Well,
it
was Stingley on one side,
and Flott on the other.
Yeah, and Leonard Marshall said he was very underrated. That that he thought Flott.
No, he was young too. Don't forget, he came out young.
Yep. Yeah, regardless, I don't hate the guy. I just don't.
No, I know. I'm joking. You hate on the weight. You think he's too light.
The weight is, he's just, there's not a lot of physicality out of Flott. He struggles with physical receivers. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
I think he just turned 22 this year, if I'm not mistaken, 21 or 22, because he came out. How is he now? Yeah, Mark had it right. He was 20 years old when he was in the league as a rookie.
Oh yeah, I didn't say he can't play. I like him better as a slot. And yes, Cold, I actually do think that Tyrone Phillips could be one of the best, or ranking wise, I think he plays a great slot corner. I would say he's one of the better slots in football. I mean, the guy stepped in as a rookie and played so well. So yeah. I'm really happy with Phillips. I like him a lot. He's physical, where I don't see that at a Flott. It just doesn't seem there. It just there's no flashes even. It's just once in a blue moon he's making the play. So personally, I still think it Banks, Adebo, Phillips, Newman, Holland is your defensive backs. Yeah. And because you got a better pass rush and you got better linebackers, or healthy linebackers, I should say.
Right.
It's going to be a different defense.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be different. We'll see. Like I said, hopefully Banks got the message. He looks so far early on. I know it's early, but it looks like has a little bit different of a mindset going into camp this year. So maybe year 2 with that. And here's another name I throw out there again was Trey Hawkins. Let's see what he does. Because until that injury, he was doing what? Don't listen,
dude. Why do we have to wait 3 years for these guys to learn to play?
Because Trey Hawkins is a 7th round pick, and he in year 2 he played better, but he got injured.
A 7th round pick for a reason.
Yeah, well, or whatever round he was in, but he flashed last year, and then he got injured. And in zone, I think that's a better thing for him. I think Bowen's system is better for him. Am I saying he's going to be a star? No, but a solid backup, you need depth. So don't be surprised. Keep a name on him. Keep an eye on him.
And Cold, you're 100% Cold. That was my bad. Talking too fast. Yeah, Drew Phillips. This is one that I want to throw out there for you. I'm curious to what you say here. Like, to me, because this seems like a no-brainer. But Coughlin says lots of good corners still out in free agency. Address that, please.
I don't really know who's out there still. That's good. I can't think of any
And if they're
names that
not
are out there that
signed
are
by
so good.
now, how good are they?
Yeah. I can't think of any. I haven't been paying attention, but I don't know who's out there. I mean, again, who else are we gonna sign that's better than what we have right now? I think and if they are, we don't have the money to sign them, right?
Yep.
I think Adebo was the big one. I think Holland was the big one. I think it's what we need to add. Like, and you said, listen, as much as Banks struggled last year, as bad as he was, you can't give up on him yet. And you got other guys behind him that can fight for it. Right. So they'll figure it out. But I can't think. I mean, Michael, if you can tell us who's out there that is still a good free agent cornerback, I'd love to hear. Oh, Asante Samuel Jr. Yeah, but he's injured too.
Yeah.
He's injured a lot. I mean, that's a name I wouldn't mind taking on, Asante Samuel Jr., but I don't know
I don't
what his
even,
price
I
tag would
can't
be.
afford them anyway. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Javarius
all
Ward
right.
signed with somebody already.
Again, the Giants are smart enough. If there was a stud guy, Gilmore, come on, man.
Washed.
What is it? Is it geriatric here? Like, what is it? Bringing guys in wheelchairs? I mean, come on, man. We want just because they were good 10 years ago, 7 years ago, doesn't mean they can play anymore. I mean, they're out there for a reason. Either their medicals are bad, they've lost a step or two, they don't want to tackle anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
Gilmore
there's a
can
reason.
stay with the Cowboys, and the Cowboys DB, they just got rid. They lost the DB, and they didn't bring Gilmore back. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's at the end of his days. He's a
Yeah.
name, I get it, but yeah,
Look, at the end of the day, Debo's a good player, and Banks can be a good player because he had a good rookie year, and for whatever reason didn't perform last year. I don't know. Did he get lazy? Did he get tired? Was he hurt? Was he struggling in the system? I have no idea. But no one's giving up on a first round pick. I pounded the table for him. I want to see him do it, or I'll be the first guy to tell you, like, we got to get rid of him. Coughlin says he's a Bucks fan. Well, then why are you? You're in the wrong podcast, buddy.
we love fans of all teams.
Yes, but he's over.
Supporting us.
But if he's a Bucks fan, why is he telling the Giants to do what
I know.
to do with the
Well,
Giants?
your Bucks team can sign him. They can sign all those guys.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, I would expect the Giants' identity to be a defense, getting sacking the quarterback, lots of pressure, getting off the field on third down. Definitely. I mean, look, I don't know if Mark, how fast you are with this stuff, but Giants' turnover ratio was abysmal.
Yeah, it was bad.
A black hole.
It was bad. But we got the booty chest coming. We got the booty chest. That's out there. That's going to make all the difference in the world this year. You watch that booty chest. Let me tell you what.
Are you sure it's going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. You know why it's going to work? It's not because they have a booty chest. It's because they're prioritizing it. So whatever works for these kids, right? We got a young team. We got a young team. So whatever motivates them. But if they're bringing in the booty chest, it's because they want to get the turnover. So if you emphasize something, what's going to happen? They're going to make it happen, right? They're going to get turnovers. They're going to do the things they need to do to make that happen. Anybody who's coached, anybody who's played, when you got something emphasized, what happens? It usually gets done, right?
100%. And Coughlin, we're just having some fun with you, man. We appreciate the engagement. I'm glad you're here.
We're just giving you a hard time, Michael. Don't worry about it.
That's what we do, right? We're giving you a hard time because we can, because the Giants.
I mean, we give Cole a hard time. We get everybody a hard time.
Oh yeah, Cole's always giving us the run for our money.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask this.
Nope.
No. What do you mean no?
The answer's no. Whatever you're going to ask me, the answer's no.
Fair enough. Belton also too has this insane mini camp, right? Yeah. And is there a way for because we've interviewed him, super nice guy. Right, his dad's a great dude, which I communicate with on Twitter sometimes. And I love an Iowa safety, first of all. They're smackers, they're ball hawks. We tried to fit Isaiah Simmons square peg in a round hole, and Belton does make plays on the ball. I mean, he's made some mistakes, and that like anybody has. He doesn't, there's no muscle memory there because you're not on the field enough, right? So you're prone to sometimes making mistakes. Is there a chance that we will see some three safety high with Newman, Holland, and Belton?
I mean, if it's Belton, maybe I think there's a chance we'll see three safeties because that's what Bowen likes to do. unless he changes it up and doesn't want to go 3 safeties. He ran a lot last year, so could Belton be the guy? Could somebody else be the guy? Like, but I think we'll see some 3 safeties. Again, I just think where is Newman going to play more in the line? Is Holland going to be closer to the line? Like that's the key for me is who's there because year 2 of Newman, if he's back there, I think he's going to learn a little bit more. He's got his college number back. I know people don't make a big deal out of numbers, but let me tell you, it matters. Like if you're excited to have your college number back, it matters. It absolutely matters to an extent. And then I think Holland I think the guys back there is going to be huge. But yeah, Belton could again, he's got to do it. Like he can do it in OTAs, he can do some other things. He's got to do it in the games. Like we need, and I'm rooting for the kid. Like I want to see him do well. Again, ball hawk out of Iowa, great stuff. So could he fill in for what Simmons was doing? Yeah. I can't think of who else would be in that role as of right now, unless it's Carter in that role, right? Like, but
Carter's playing like six different positions.
listen, they talked. You saw it. Like they might line him up all over the damn place. Seriously, who knows?
Yeah.
But no, I think Belton could have a good shot to get us the third safety because I can't think of anything else right now.
Yeah, and you won't know until the bullets start flying who does what. You know what I mean? Like again, like Carter seemed like a guy where they didn't know what to do with him. They made him an inside linebacker, and then all of a sudden they put him on the outside, and it's like, whoa, I didn't know he could do that. So, Carter could be the next, TJ Watt for all we know. So we're not going to actually know till these guys get suited up and start going. Giants have a rough road. For any of you folks, like I am super optimistic this year that this is a rebuilding year with a lot of young guys. And whatever happens, like they grab 7 wins, 8 wins, they're going to be a 12-win team next year, right? And they're going to start catching Washington and the Eagles. But you need some things to go right, and that starts this year with the defense, and next year will be more of an offensive build. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think they built the offense. I think.
I mean, it's like an offensive line standpoint, still a little touchy on the line.
See, I'm higher on the line than most people because you're year 2 now with Carmbrasillo. GVR is much better than people give him credit for there. I know JMS is concerned, so we'll see what he does in year 3. But I think if Neal gets in there at guard and does well, you're good because then you got running there. You can move GVR to center, or when GVR gets too old, the following year. I think it's going to come down to the development of your guy Jackson Dart, and that's where it's going to come. And then do you add another wide receiver? What does Wandale do? But I think like they felt like they're building it. They just needed the vets, and they let vets go. We get that. Everybody was upset about that, but I think they got the right vets in here now. I think the vets they let go. Now with this young team, I think the defense needed to get better because that was Maher's mandate basically. But they also realized, in my opinion, Daboll felt like quarterback was the major issue, and they upgraded the quarterback position, so they feel like they're going to be better. I think the team feels that way too. I think there's a lot of guys, and especially the defense, they'll feel like, all right, we got a professional quarterback now, a winning quarterback who not just won a playoff game, he won a Super Bowl, was in the second Super Bowl, and was a bad play call away from being a 2-time Super Bowl champion, right? So, and he understands things. Here's the other thing. Are they going to let Russ call pass protection? Because that'll take the pressure off of our young center to be able to do that. And if they do let him do that, you're going to see a difference right there too. Because that's a guy that, do you think there's much he hasn't seen in the league at this point? He's going to understand when a blitz is coming. He's going to know where to shade guys, what they need to do. And I don't think we had that previously, because I don't remember any time that the O-line wasn't making the protection calls. And I think the quarterback should make the protection calls. I mean, Eli used to do it. He was good at it. A lot of good quarterbacks do it. So I think Russ is going to do that. But I think from an O-line standpoint, they were much improved from the year before, right? And then this year, they're all back together. Like, people undervalue continuity, in my opinion, Craig. I don't know your thoughts on it, but you get continuity not only with the players on the line, but also now the coach is back for a second year who improved them last year. And now they're understanding things better. And again, worst case scenario, if JMS is not there, then you just move GVR over the center, because GVR did play good at center when he came in last year. And then if Neal can play guard well, you got that, and you're good there.
I reached out to Nacho and I asked him what he thought, and he said this. I had it.
Tune in to Giants Rush every Monday, baby. Rush every Monday, baby. Rush every Monday, baby.
See, even Nacho says tune in to Rush every Monday.
Absolutely. Must see TV.
That's right, baby. Again, I don't know where we're going with the quarterback. If Dart is this year, next year, but yeah, you got a more professional room that should give you more of an opportunity.
Yep.
I know you're high on the line. I'm like interested in see what Neil does. JVR was a surprise. My biggest thing, regardless of what happens, is going to remain the same damn thing that I've wanted for 3 years, and that's Andrew Thomas needs to stay healthy. I don't care if he's put on weight, got stronger, lost weight, hit Ozempic. I don't care if he's crushing, 25 grilled cheese sandwiches, a day. I don't care anymore. Like, I don't want to hear about potential. I don't want to hear about Pro Bowl snubs. All I want is the dude to start mashing people and start being able to make it through the season. Because if he doesn't make it, I'm saying it right now, if he can't make it through this season, you're drafting an offensive tackle in the first round next year. That's your pick.
More than likely.
Because enough's enough. Like there's, there are just guys that just can't stay healthy for whatever reason. Like it's just in the cards, Jeremy Shockey was a guy like that. Phil Simms was early in his career was a guy like that. There's just dudes that just can't stay healthy. If the New York Giants don't have a healthy Andrew Thomas that can play 15 of 17 games this year, that you're drafting a tackle in the first round next year because he's the only one.
Or is Bo that guy? Marcus Bo that guy they drafted this year?
I don't think so. I like Bo, but I don't think he's I don't see that. Doesn't mean it can't happen. Doesn't mean they won't try to fit a round peg in a square hole. But if Andrew Thomas goes down, you're drafting the best offensive left tackle in football next year. That's it. Like, you're not effing it around hoping Bo. We can't hope anymore. Hope is gone. Hope is sailed away.
I get it. I think, but Bo is a higher draft pick if he doesn't get injured. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's a much better tackle than people realize. Like when you see the footage when you watch that, but again, he had a freak injury, so I get it. But I don't disagree that they go with a tackle.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with that. But again, don't be surprised if Marcus Bo could be that guy. Or maybe he's Illuminar's replacement when Illuminar gets too old.
Maybe. I mean, we're gonna shift off that topic real fast, but I'll wrap it with this. You can't, if the Giants were going to get better, you got to stop projecting and hoping, right? We're hoping Hyatt turns into something. We're hoping Andrew Thomas stays healthy. We're hoping that Neil can be an NFL starter. Like when you're relying on hope every year, you are a 2-14 team. You are a 6-11 team. When you're relying on hope. Yes, Bo is a super exciting player. But if I'm expecting him to step in at left tackle because Andrew Thomas get hurt, and that's the solution, you're a bad team. Right? We're just a bad team. So I'm tired of hoping. Some guys have to perform.
They do. But again, are you thinking you're hoping of Bo because of where he was drafted? Because again, you can have linemen drafted later rounds that come in and are Hall of Fame caliber players. I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Fame caliber player, but you also got a first or second round talent in a later round because he had a serious injury later in the season. So that's more what I'm saying, that I don't think it's a hope for him. I think for me, it's he can do it. He's just a rookie. That's the only thing. Will he come in and be able to do it as a rookie? That's the only thing.
Maybe if put it this way, if Bo is the guy, he's going to win a job in camp. They're going to be that blown away. Like your left tackle just doesn't get thrown in year 3 because your other guy's hurt. Like again, they can happen. It's more of a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? It's more of an outlier. Just You know what I mean? Like, if you want to win in 2026 because Andrew Thomas got hurt, you draft in and you're plug and play. You're not hoping Bo is the guy, because if you hope Bo's the guy, guess what you don't do? You're not drafting a first-round left tackle because
Right.
you're hoping that Bo's the guy. Like, we need conviction and just
How
find
do
the
you know they're
best
not
guy.
how do you see conviction though? Like, if they drafted Bo and they're how would you know in your mind, how would you know
That
they're convicted in him?
because he gets an opportunity to start in 2025.
Okay. Well, they're
Offensive linemen
using
that
him
are
as the
drafted
swing
high,
tackle right now.
but that's not good enough.
Okay.
Like, when you're
Who's he
drafted
gonna
high,
replace right now? Who's he gonna replace right now? Are you saying that it's hope because he's not gonna start over the 5 guys, one of the 5 guys that's on the line right now?
yeah, like you were hoping that if Andrew Thomas went down, that he would be a good left tackle. That's hope.
No,
So I'm
I think he's gonna be the guy who can step in and do well. That's what I'm saying. I'm not hoping.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I like Bo. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
saying he's not good. I'm saying that if Andrew Thomas gets hurt, you cannot hope Bo turns out to be good, because if he doesn't turn out to be good and he turns out to be a guard and a tackle and not a tackle, you're still screwed. So if Andrew Thomas gets hurt again, you're drafting a tackle, and then you can let Bo compete next year. Do not just give Bo the job and hope he's good enough, because that's what the New York Giants always do. They hope
Mm.
that Hyatt can catch the ball. They hope Darren Waller has something left. They hope, that what was the tight end they got from Minnesota?
Oh, Rudolph.
They hope that Rudolph was going to be healthy. Like, no more hope with this team. So
Yeah.
if Thomas gets hurt, you draft a left tackle with the first pick and let him and Bo compete. I'm cool with that. No more giving jobs. You know what I mean? Like, the only kid that gets a job is the first round pick. I'm done hoping.
Okay.
That's just me. That's just me. Because if it turns out that we're wrong, we're like, oh man.
But if Bo comes in and plays well this year, then you're not really hoping. If he shows that he's a good if he plays this year, right.
That's not hope. That's saying he came into
Right.
camp and he beat Runyon out for the guard spot and he played it. He beat out JVR for the guard spot and he's playing. That's not hope. Hope is that we're not going to draft a first round left tackle because we hope Marcus Bo can be
Oh,
the
yeah. No,
next
I
year's
agree with
left tackle.
that. If Marcus Bo shows he can play, then he's the left tackle if Thomas gets hurt, and you don't have to worry about drafting. That's what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing.
All right, let's segue real quick. We got 5 minutes left. We
Okay.
appreciate all you cats hanging out with us. Really great show. Because we kind of a little bit of winging it today, but we did get a lot of feedback. Guys, let's do a little housekeeping. NYGiantsRush.com. There's plenty of articles up there, and the YouTube channels. I need you cats to subscribe. I need David and I know Cole, you're already there, but anybody that's new, Diane and David and James, you guys are all awesome for showing up here. Michael Coughlin, you guys are all super awesome for hanging out with us every week. There's a good, 103 people hanging out with us right now. I need you guys to tell other Giants fans about us. I need you to go to the YouTube channel, Giants Rush, and subscribe. It helps us out a ton. We do not do a good job of growing that channel. Yes, I don't put enough content out. I need to put out like 2 or 3 videos a week. But, we're all jamming and really super, crazy with our lives. We try to do the best we can. But we're here every single Monday, 50 weeks of the year. No one else can say that. And I think we interview some of the best players. Oh, Craig, who do we interview, right? That's what people want to know. Well,
Craig, who do we interview?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that, Shawn. That's why it's so easy to work with you.
That's right.
We have interviewed Kurt Warner. We've interviewed Daniel Bellinger. We've interviewed Mike and McFadden. We've interviewed David Wilson and Carl Banks and Leonard Marshall. We've interviewed Kavika Mitchell and Mathis Kiwanuka. We've interviewed Dominic Hickson. We've interviewed some really cool New York Giants, Daniel Bellinger, Dane Belton, Nick Gates. We interview good players. They're not easy to get. We had Tracy 2 weeks ago, and we got Okie Doke, if you guys saw that. So we're always trying to get you guys new interviews. They're always up on the YouTube channel. If you guys could just subscribe, that would mean a lot to us. We're here every single Monday, even on vacation. we are here.
Right.
To make sure that we, try to entertain you guys for an hour and 15 minutes. Segueing over to the wide receivers, we know what we have. We know what we don't have. Let's talk Hyatt. Kid's gained 15 to 19 pounds with a lot of muscle. I don't know what he's taking. All the right vitamins, as Lenny Dykstra used to say. And he's got all these muscles now. Does it make a difference, that he's bigger? So, yes, he won't get pushed around as much, but isn't it more than weight with him right now, Shawn?
Yeah, I think so. I do. But I think weight was a big one. I do think it was a big one. Getting, pressed off the line, get hard time getting off, DBs that were pressing him, not being able to block, on run plays. I think the mental. So if he can turn around his mental, and I think Hyatt is one of those guys that is glad to have a new quarterback room. I really, really do. Right. Not making an excuse for the guy at all. There's no
Fair enough.
excuse. He didn't do what he did. But I think that m- from a mental standpoint, I think you're going to see a different height. Now, whether that translates on the field, I don't know. But if he has a different mentality, it could make a difference. And if you have a quarterback that believes in you, which I think Russell Wilson does, right? Like I know Russell Wilson he's a PR guy. He says this, he says that, but he's randomly bringing up Hyatt's name a lot without even being prompted about it. He talks about him when he's prompted too, but he'll bring his name up without being prompted. So even if Hyatt believes that the quarterback believes in him, then you're going to see something better too. So again, not excusing, but he's a young kid. Young kids make mistakes. Did he learn from it? And so far, what we've seen, I think we've seen a little different Hyatt mentality, attitude wise. If he's learned the playbook, if he's on that page, the dedication to gain weight, again, that shows that he's committed, right? So it's not 100% about the weight gain, which does help. It's the fact that he was dedicated and committed. He knew he needed to get better, and he made that happen. Now, is he going to do it from the mental side? That's what we got to see. Cold. He doesn't look much different. Dude,
That
absolutely
picture,
does.
yeah, they did show him. He looked kind of jacked in that one picture. Whoever
Yeah.
plays football stays. Time to let some bad players go. Neil
Agreed.
Hyatt, Azudu. Yeah,
Well, not
yeah.
heel or Hyatt.
Azudo definitely gone. Neil
Yeah.
could potentially, he's not going to go only because he's on his rookie contract. And Hyatt too. Like these guys are cheap. So I love
Yeah.
your point, David. Love it, love it,
Yeah.
love it. But always remember the game runs on economics. Nobody's getting cut before their time. Cole, that put he's up there says,
What does the glasses have to do with anything, Cold? What you can't agree
there
with?
is
Does
all
he wear
right. Look,
glasses?
for the record, what they're debating is Hyatt had supposedly had gained somewhere around 15 to 19 pounds. There's one photo out there that Hyatt looks like for him, he looks jacked in one photo.
Yeah.
It hasn't circulated a lot right yet. So if I had a producer anymore, because we don't know what happened to Zach, he just disappeared on us. We love him, but we don't know where he went. There is one photo.
Yeah.
That one photo, whether it's an optical illusion or not, the cat looks jacked. So if I could find the photo, I'll make sure I pop it up next week.
Yeah, there's a noticeable difference. And there's a video out there too where there's a noticeable difference. And he even said it. He said he's literally he's weighing like 190.
Yeah. And jacked, of course, for a 6'3", whatever he is, 6'4" wide receiver. I don't know if the weight will make a damn difference in what he does. I don't know if it'll help him learn the playbook, change his attitude, or catch the ball. But yeah, Cole, 100%. He's got to. It's the same thing.
He's got to show on the field. But again, if he was committed to gaining that weight, that's a good sign. That's a good sign, right?
Yeah, good. Definitely good
right,
sign.
Good sign. That's all I'm saying. It's a good sign.
With him, though, it's been a lot of talk, a lot of yakking.
Yeah.
We just need the guy to do something.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's it. At the end of the day, especially with him being a higher draft pick, moving up, all that stuff, he's just got to finally produce. That's it. Like, we sure he's a good dude. Yep. We tried to get him on the show a couple times, couldn't do it. I know Shawn was working and hanging out with his dad a little bit, texting back and forth, but couldn't pull it off. We'll try to work on some interviews. We're talking about going to camp. So if you guys are going to camp in any of those days and you want to hang out, maybe we'll tailgate or something like that. I know Chris is working on some ideas. There's always Fan Fest every year. I don't know what's going on with that. Like Fan Fest has been a bust for the last couple of years. So I think last year I don't know if they played powder puff football or something like that. I don't know. They kind of botched Fan Fest, but thanks for hanging out with us. Cold, I'm sure you can see all your comments now. They're on the screen, which is pretty cool. That's a new feature. I know you asked me about it. And yeah, I guess fans are invested, Cole, with third-round picks. When they're wide receivers, it's more of a sexy position. If he was a guard, nobody would give a crap. But,
He's a Blitnikoff winner.
Yeah.
He
Well,
got a lot of hype. He got a lot of hype at Tennessee,
still,
coming out of Tennessee. He had that 5-touchdown game against Alabama. And when you're a Blitnikoff winner, you're going to get a lot of recognition. Fans are going to be excited about it, right?
I am with Cold, though. Like I said, where I'm kind of over Hyatt. I want him to succeed. But, I'm just over, the whole drama, all the excuses. He's sick. He got hurt. Or no one throws him the ball. He doesn't get reps. He's I'm kind of over all that. Just go out there and ball, or you won't be here. I mean, that's it. We're carrying him, and he doesn't really produce anything. There's some later round picks. I don't know. We'll have to do a project. What third round pick wide receiver is blowing it up right now? Is there one? There's got to probably be one.
But some guys just take longer to develop than others. We expect everybody to come in and just be able to be great right away, and that's not just the way
we're a bad team. Bad teams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Our expectations are not saying you, but as a whole, our expectations are not where they should be. You got a third round pick that they develop. Not third round picks don't always come in and start right away and make impact right away. It's just not the way it works. I mean, you look at the percentage of third round picks that don't even make it in the league, and we're expecting a third round pick to come in and be a stud right away. That's what amazes me. That's what amazes me.
Look,
you know what I mean?
I got it because you want him to do well. Right.
I'm not highly invested in him. I think, again, here's another guy that's getting hate that shouldn't get hate at this point. He's a third round pick. He's year 3. He's entering into year 3. He gets hype too. I mean, he gets the hype. He gets the hate. He's a lightning rod right now for no reason. He shouldn't be a lightning rod. He's the third round pick that we knew was going to take. If you paid attention to what he did in college and the offense he was in, everybody should have known he was going to take longer to develop. His route running was not where it needed to be. So if you're a third round pick where your route running is not where it's going to take a little longer to develop, and then you come in on a bad team with a bad quarterback, that's going to take even longer to develop. So I just don't understand why we expect later round picks to come in and make an impact right away. Some do, but there's a lot who don't.
I'll be brief on this one because we got a jam. We don't want to keep everybody.
Okay, yeah.
I got beers to drink here down.
All right.
But I will say this: I think this one's very simple. Okay, this is not some revolutionary take. He's got bad body language. He's got a bad attitude. He does not come across as someone that's a team guy.
Yep.
Everybody has seen it on TV, on camera, in stadium, and that's the reason. If anybody takes a lot of heat, you want to talk about a cat who takes a lot of heat? Darius Slayton takes a ton of heat. And that cat keeps his mouth closed, keeps his head down, works hard as he can, and just gives whatever he can. This guy is makes everything he can out of what he is given. And he's pro Giants, pro franchise, pro whatever quarterback's throwing him the ball. And he's a model citizen. And the guy has, he's had some really big plays. He's had some terrible drops.
Yep.
And he gets a ton of hate. And realistically, the guy's a 5th round pick out of Auburn.
Yeah.
I mean, so he is maximized everything he could potentially do.
Yep.
Slayton just, it epitomizes what a hardworking dude is. Keeps his mouth shut, works hard. Everybody likes the dude.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
This other cat, your Blitnikoff award winner, has got bad body language. He's a bad role model when he shows bad body language. He shows he don't want to be here. He's not happy, and all that stuff. So he's going to get hate, and he can have bad body language all he wants. He can do anything he wants on and off the field if he catches the damn ball. Okay?
Agreed.
And he doesn't catch the ball, he doesn't score, and he doesn't produce. So he's under a microscope because they're like, dude, our 5th round pick out of Auburn makes you look pretty damn bad.
But you got fans that are expecting a 3rd-round pick to come in and play like a 1st-round wide receiver.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying. I don't know one cat.
He's immature. I said that. That was one of the first thing I said. His mental is a big reason. So he's immature. Again, he's got to mature, and he's now in year 3. So he's got to take that step this year. He's got to mature. He's got to have a better mental
By the
approach.
way,
He's got to do things better.
it's the same story as Tay Banks. Tay Banks has got to grow up, put the
Agreed.
work in, and get it done. Like
Agreed.
I made a joke of it a couple of weeks ago because it caught me off guard. I don't know if you can still see it, but it was like Giants.com, and they do those things every day before practice, like funny questions.
Yeah.
And I told you the story. He's like, what is somebody, tell me something that nobody knows about you. And his answer was, I like Twinkies. And that was like,
Yep.
dude, I don't want to hear that. Like, if you're all pro, you can eat as many Twinkies as you want. But if you're bad as you are eating Twinkies and that's your thing, like,
Yeah.
we got problems. So,
Yeah.
So look, Tay Banks and Hyatt are going to have to earn it, or they won't be here.
Agreed.
So, I don't think Tay Banks has got terrible body language, but he just
quit. He quit.
I was going to say, but he looked like at the end he had kind of just given up, right?
Yeah.
Hyatt,
And he's a starter.
Yeah, and he's a starter. So, look, pounding it out for the 190 folks that showed up today. Appreciate you
nice.
guys. Again, nygiantsrush.com, YouTube channel. Hey, look, we do have an Instagram account. I'm not great at it, but last post I put up there did really well. Giants used to have a running back trio, Earth, Wind, and Fire, which was Jacobs, Ward, Bradshaw. There is a little bit of fun that we can have with that. I'll put it on Twitter because I know most of the Giants fans that hang out with us are Twitter people. But Earth is Cam Scattaboo, Wind, Tyrone Tracy, Fire, Devin Singletary. With the way they run, the way they are, we can revitalize that, right? Have some fun with it. Earth, Wind, and Fire too. They're back, right? Kind of a thing. Run it back in 2025. Cool. I took it as he was busy playing video games and eating instead of working out, getting in shape, and getting ready for the season. It wasn't literally about. He could have said anything. It took me back that he wanted to talk about eating junk food. That's all. Just me, Cole. I don't know. It took me back when he said it. I was like, what? I don't care. I don't want to hear that you've been eating Twinkies off season. I want to hear you've been sleeping outside, eating raw meat. Let's go. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. Pounding it out for you folks. I'm on vacay this week. Hope you guys stop it, man. What did I do? I'm allowed that opinion. Wait a minute. A guy says that he likes Twinkies is what people don't know about it, and I have to stop it? What do you mean? I'm entitled to think that the guy talks about eating Twinkies could be a problem. That's a legit problem to have, Gold. The guy likes Twinkies. Okay, come on. I want him to say, what you don't know about me is, I'm working out 4 times a day. The cat had a terrible year, and I'm chalking it up to eating Twinkies, whether you like it or not. Still love you. Later on, see you guys next week. That's Joker. I'm the King.
See you guys.
We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.